Hello and welcome everybody, I'm RC and you're watching a speedrun of Halo Reach. This is the 8th level package on Legendary. This is actually a former world record, but it's been outstanding in my queue of vids I should make or commentate. You've probably seen it on this channel before if you've been subscribed for a long time, or if you've been subscribed to HighSpeedHaloDotNet or a follower of speedruns of Halo Reach in general. But I've never done a commentary for it. So, opening, this is by far the hardest bit of the entire mission. This is where you're going to die the most. Basically, I'm just going to run straight through it. If you're just trying to complete it in Legendary, don't do this. It's totally stupid. And I'm just trying to weave my way in between. And there's a grunt that usually was just behind me on the right. I was really lucky that he wasn't close enough. You know, if he sees you, he's going to blast you with a Furo gun and you're going to die. And that grunt, I was going to try and get him out of that, and I was going to try and hijack it and then go to the Scorpion, but I just threw the grenade, it went over my head. Anyway, you get in the tank. This bit's fairly easy. Just go around blasting everything to hell. That guy can sometimes be annoying. It's a surprising amount of damage on your tank. And obviously you want to just multi-kill everything here. On lower difficulties, you can actually like go and grab one of these revenants, and you can go up past all these ghosts, go straight up into the towers in the next area. Just go for their cores. In Legendary, that's not going to happen. There's so many enemies you're going to have to take out right near the gate that there's just really no point. I mean, I did try several times to try and figure out a route, but then always the problem going back to was getting that very difficult like opening 30 seconds running to the tank and then doing like even harder stuff later on. I just could never do it. So leave it to people even crazier than I am. These AA cannons, if memory serves, 6 rounds will destroy them. And you can tell if you switch on your night vision, they'll go from being highlighted in green to not being highlighted in green, sort of a normal background object. Also got to be very aware of these Banshees coming from the right. If you're too cautious, quite a lot of Banshees will come in. There's obviously also like extra enemies down in there, but you can pretty much ignore them. This is actually kind of a tricky maneuver, like going sideways. As you can see, I got stuck on this rock. That was a little bit embarrassing. Now this is a really old run. Like, I'm gonna have to dig out like my stats or something, figure out when this was done and put it in the description. But this is like probably like the biggest lag time between when I've done something and actually posted about it. And actually I only did this run because there was a slower run that had been posted, and I thought, do you know what, I can beat that, because I actually hated this level for a long time. And I don't hate it so much now. Oh yeah, I got to take out the shade turrets. That guy can be surprisingly annoying if you let him live for too long, the one in the Revenant. And they're quite hard to see, these shade turrets, because they're all dark in here, and this contrast on my screen was terrible, so that's why I always had to turn on the night vision. Thought I was gonna die. Ugh. That's why I was jumping out there. Don't jump out, that's not part of the plan. There's one more turret over there. Now interestingly, once these phantoms are triggered and once you're basically near the door, the level is on a timer. So, you know, jumping out here, taking a little bit of time, this doesn't matter. I'm just using time that I already have, basically. So there it is, open just in time for me. Perfect. Oh dear, look at that. Revenant also has the little raising of the nose like the Wraith and the Ghost does. Just boost through these guys, no point. I think I got that trick, plasma pistoling and from behind the rock. I think I got from Dark Devastation's like lower difficulty runs, I can't remember. I believe Dark Devastation was the one that I beat his legendary run of this. For the record. Oh, well, this was the record at the time. It's not anymore, actually. I actually kind of like this hallway because like having this very spiral area, it's not something you've really seen in a Halo level much before. Interestingly, one of the very first Halo demos, I think it was E3 2000, something like that, they did actually have a spiral area where some elites came in and The Marines were shooting up at them, and the Marines got wiped out and they were being chased out of this Forerunner structure. I don't even know why I thought of that just now, but I did. So here I've just left one guy. You can leave more, you can be more aggressive, you can run straight up that pillar, obviously on lower difficulties, and on Legendary, even Lazo if you're insane. So I can't remember what I did on Lazo. You can, it's somewhere on my channel, you can find it. Whoops, missed that.
Please proceed to the prearranged coordinates.
Obviously at the time I didn't realize, but you can actually just do a sprint jump onto this sort of architectural piece in the center of the room, and then onto that ledge where that window is, and past those elite. If you're lucky, you won't die. If you're unlucky, you'll get meleeed in the face. At the time I didn't realize that that jump was actually even possible, so you know, I had to figure out some way to get past these guys. I mean, I knew you could grenade jump onto that ledge, but you really can't do that on Legendary. You can do it on like easy, maybe normal. Didn't realize you could do the sprint jump. So a little bit of pepper in. Got my noble team buddies helping me out as well. Just trying to clean them up as fast as I possibly can. And you know, now the engineer in the background is giving them shields, so I'm going to have to take a few seconds and take him out as well. So when most of the enemies are dead, or all the enemies are dead, and or if you go up to that ramp at the back of the room, that's when the general is going to come out. Did you see my positioning there? It was so good. I was right next to the health pack, knew I was going to need it. Picked it up right at the end of the battle. Combo on the general, like no problem. This is one of the bob spawns actually, just in there. You have to be really fast to get him. So, second part of the level, inside the glacier. This is one of the firefight maps, which is kind of weird actually, because they sort of locked it off from matchmaking, because it was all spoilery, because there was a Forerunner artifact like in the background. I thought that was a bit excessive, to be honest.
Doctor, we have hostiles inbound.
Spartans, you cannot allow the Covenant to break through the door to my lab.
Understood.
So I basically figured out what I wanted to do for that first half, and so that was all very nicely planned, and I executed it exactly how I wanted. This next half was less well planned, and that's why things sort of get hairy towards the end.
Activate the turret to set up a perimeter.
So obviously I want one of these Banshees, because Banshees are cool. And the majority of the time, if you come on to sit on top of this sort of little science building, they'll just do this weird flyby and just let you board them. So there are grunts coming out of that first phantom over in the background. In fact, they're going to be already down there, and I should be killing them right now. Come on past RC. So using the Banshee on these guys is actually excessive. It's probably faster to just get out and headshot all of them.
I need more time. Whatever you have to do, do it.
But you don't need to worry about taking them out too quickly right now, because the phantoms in the rest of this wave are on timers. So like this phantom to the left and that one in the background. The key to going really fast in this area is, well, co-op obviously, but using the Banshee bomb, maybe using rockets, maybe using grenades, getting out all these guys dead as soon as they're hitting the ground. Like if they're going that far, you're not going to be a world record holder. And you know, I'm not anymore, to be fair. Not on Legendary anyway. I'm still a laser world record holder. That turn was a bit too early. Now, all the way up to Heroic, you're basically a god in the Banshee. But it's just when you get to Legendary that you really start getting torn to pieces. Funnily enough, on Legendary All Skulls on, because of your Mythic and your Tilt Skulls, you've actually got double health in the Banshee, and you know, things like the Brute Spikers don't actually damage you as much. So you're actually, again, a god. You still have to be really knowing what you're doing, and to make the most of it, you're still going to have to be fast and accurate. But it's actually much easier to use the Banshee on laser than it is on standard Legendary. even though in my laser run of this I do opt for a Wraith, just because it's more comfortable that way. So the Banshee's better for sort of ploughing enemies down, but I liked sort of just using the mortar to actually kill enemies, because the Banshee's bomb is not as effective, obviously, because of the same reasons, really. So just flip and dive and flip. Basically just like you're playing multiplayer. God, that Banshee was overpowered in multiplayer, wasn't it? Whew. Almost miss it, don't you? So for this first set of Phantoms that drops the Wraith, the first Wraith, sorry, you don't need to kill the Wraith. That's not a required kill. You can actually leave it for a really long time. It's best to leave the Wraith for when you've killed all the ground infantry. It's because these should have been dead already. I should have left them way too long. So that's obviously costing me time. And obviously, in the downtime between when all the Phantoms are slowly coming in, take out some Banshees just because they're really annoying and they can deal a load of damage to you. And also activating these turrets because they'll deal damage to the enemies and sort of slow them up on their path towards where June and Carter is it. Alright. Now these guys, are these the Ranger Elites? I think they are.
Another Phantom dropping troops to flank us.
Yep, there you go.
Maybe we can grab a Banshee and bring the fight to them.
Now if you've got like there's like a very specific moment, like they just drop down and then you can plow into them. But like if their feet touch the ground for like more than a second, they can jump away from you. So plowing into them is something you can do, but you've got to be really, really quick. And frankly, on top of all the other pieces in this run, there was something I never got better at doing. Oh, the ghosts. They're a pain in the ass too. So you can see I'm taking a load of damage from them. Ranger Elites fortunately die pretty easily for the Banshee Bomb. I'm just trying to take out some of these enemies. So 3 basic waves on easy, normal, heroic, and then on legendary you have a 4th wave, which obviously doesn't happen on the lower difficulties, and that easily adds, you know, a minute or 2 or 3 minutes depending on how well you're going with the fighting. So this was where I sort of knew what I was sort of doing, but I was still kind of making it up as I was going along. Because if you try it, like, go to the start of this level, just try running like I did straight through, like, most of the time you're just gonna die. Getting nearly done with this wave. Kind of looking for another Banshee, see if I can maybe hijack it. So get some like funky drum music, and this is where you know wave 3, which is a special wave that only shows up on legendary, and this is the wave that has the hunters. I will hijack you. I'm gonna have a go. Yeah. Oh. Now I have no new Banshee, and I don't have a battered Banshee either. So, like, when this was happening all that time ago, I was totally like, oh, I knew I could hijack it, and I'd done it before in practice runs, and I thought I did it that time, but then I was just falling to earth, and I thought it was all over at this point. But I thought, you know what, I've gone this far, I'm just going to have a go. And that And that's the thing I kind of like about legendary and laser runs. Like, if your overall strategy is good enough and you've saved enough time in certain points of the mission, there can still be something that's like emergent, something that's sort of made up on the spot, and it can still actually turn out to be a world record in the end. So this was all just off the cuff. I'd want to complete this. I know I'm way ahead of where the other run was. And I'm like, grenades? How am I going to kill these hunters? Oh wait, lasers. They're pretty good, aren't they? Yup. I think it's 2 shots. And fortunately you have 4 in one.
Almost ready. Just a little more.
So when you hear that sound, that means the very last wave is inbound. Package is almost ready, just a little more. What's her name? Jen Taylor as Dr. Catherine Halsey, who sounds like Cortana just putting on like a weird voice.
All Covenant, get your defenses ready, 6.
So very final wave. Basically only one phantom you need to worry about, and that's this one. A couple of grunts, 3 elites, there they are, and then 1 sword elite and the engineer finally comes out of back. So the 3 elites will always go for Emil and Carter. June's gone, hasn't he? I've totally forgotten, I'm sorry. No, he goes at the end of this mission. Wow, it's been a long time. Anyway, engineers down. Those ones definitely need to be dead, and you can get away with maybe a couple of the elites. You might have seen a little flash on my screen there. That means I could actually get to it right now. There we go. And then there's a lag time. There's a bit of a dialogue, and then that means you can actually hit the button. There we go. Boom! World record set. Well, it was. Anyway, I have actually posted commentaries for all the earlier levels that I ever had legendary records on, and I'll be posting Pillar of Autumn, my previous world record. So check that out. Hope you enjoyed. MRC. See you soon.
Cruiser moving into position. I need it dead.